When the sea god Poseidon sent King Minos of Crete a magnificent bull, it was meant to be a sacred sacrifice, but Minos, blinded by its beauty, claimed the bull as his own. The human defiance of a divine command gave birth to a fatal desire, for Minos' wife, Pasiphae, also became captivated by the bull. The seed of a great tragedy, born of a god's wrath and human deceit, had begun to sprout. Human deceit and a god's curse led to a horrifying consequence. A monstrous creature with the head of a bull and the body of a man was born, the Minotaur. King Minos could not reveal this terrible being to the world. To hide his own sin, he commissioned the great architect Daedalus to build a complex labyrinth, a prison to hold the creature forever. The Minotaur, born of a tragic fate he did not choose, was trapped in a dark and lonely prison. The Minotaur was labeled a monster because of his terrible appearance, but he was merely a lonely and fearful being. Trapped in the narrow, winding labyrinth, he despaired over his own terrifying reflection, and he was never once loved. The young Athenians thrown into his maze each year were terrified by him, yet their screams were the only sounds he ever heard from the outside world. Behind the fear in his eyes, there was only endless loneliness and sadness. So, who was the real monster? Was it King Minos, who created a monster and sacrificed his people to hide his own sins? Or was it the Minotaur, who was born against his will and suffered alone without ever knowing love? His appearance was that of a monster, but his heart may have been that of a lonely and mournful human soul. When the hero Theseus's sword pierced his heart, the Minotaur was finally freed from his long and lonely torment. The tragedy of the labyrinth is over, but the story leaves us with a question. Can we truly label someone as a monster based on their appearance? And could the truths we try to hide be creating another tragedy? The sorrowful cry of the Minotaur, echoing from the deep shadows of the labyrinth, leaves a profound impact on us even today. Uncover hidden tales as we reinterpret ancient myths from a new perspective on Myth Reimagined. In our next story, we'll meet another mythological figure and explore their life through a fresh lens. Subscribe and discover new facets of ancient myths. Thank you for watching.